Hello dear students, today we are going to start class 10th Social Science History Chapter 1 The Rise of Nationalism in Europe Part 2. Students, in this part we will cover the topics the French Revolution and the idea of nation, Napoleonic Code 1804 and what did national liberalism stand for. Students, as we are knowing that in France the revolution was started by the people in 1789 under the rule of an absolute monarch, Louis XVI. They wanted the changes in the form of government because the ruling was not proper by Louis XVI. He was lethargic king. He was not taking care of the welfare of the people, and heavy taxation and the price rise created problem for the people of France. People wanted the political and constitutional changes that came in the wake of French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from the monarchy to a body of French citizens. Because of these problems, they wanted that the rights should be given to the citizens so that they can live a comfortable life in France with dignity, with equality. They wanted to live their life. But these things were not given to the people. They wanted equality, liberty, justice, fraternity, all these things they wanted in their lives, but these things were not provided to them as a citizen. So they wanted a transfer from monarchy to democracy. For that they started revolution to achieve this goal. For this, different steps were taken by the revolutionaries to develop the idea of common identity among the people. For this, the French revolutionaries introduced various measures and practices that could create a sense of collective identity among the French people. To motivate the people, different steps were taken by the revolutionaries to develop the idea of commonness among the people, which was needed for the nationalism. So these ideas were developed through different techniques used by the revolutionaries. Let us see which steps were taken by the revolutionaries to develop the idea of common identity. First of all, the idea of la patrie and le citoyen emphasized the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights under a constitution. Now, the common identity was given to the people, to the citizen of the country. Now, they accepted the idea of la patrie and le citoyen, the fatherland and the citizen. La patrie, that was the fatherland, and le citoyen, that the citizen. A new French flag, the tricolor, was chosen to replace the former royal standard. A new flag was designed for the common identity. The Estates General was elected by the body of an active citizen and renamed the National Assembly. During the revolution, the representative body, which was Estates General, now it was renamed National Assembly. And in this, the participants, they used their voting right, those were active citizens. New hymns were composed, oaths taken, and martyrs commemorated, all in the name of the nation. Now, new songs were written for the people, patriotic songs were written. Those were giving sacrifices, they were praised and appreciated. So these kind of feelings emerged during the revolution. A centralized administrative system was put in place and it formulated uniform laws for the citizen within its territory. Students, this was needed in the nation state, and people Before the revolution, they suffered due to these problems because within the same country, they had to face variations in currency, in laws, in weight system, measurement system. Variations were there. People, they wanted that within their territory, these things should be common for everyone so that they can do their activities, economic activities, traveling, or in wherever the part they wanted to live, they can live peacefully and comfortably there. Internal custom duties and dues were abolished and a uniform system of weight and measures were adopted. Due to different weight and measurement system, businessmen, traders, merchants, they suffered a lot. They wanted that they should get rid of these restrictions. They wanted to do free trade. They wanted the freedom of market, and that is uniform weight system and measurement system. So these things were introduced by the revolutionaries. Regional dialects were discouraged and French became the common language of the nation. Now that is to unite the country, a common language was introduced, that was French. So in this way, different steps were taken by the revolutionaries to encourage the people, motivate the people for the common identity. Now, students, we will see that different changes had taken place in France. 1789, Louis XVI was ruling. He was absolute monarch. Monarchy was going on in 1789. People, they wanted to get rid of this form of government because they faced many problems. So a state general was converted into National Assembly. Elections had taken place. Democracy was established, where the only active citizens, they had taken part in that election. But somehow democracy came inside the country. Later, as third estate people, poor people, they didn't get the voting right. Women also, they were neglected. Old age people were neglected. Poor people were neglected. So there was discontentment among the people and they wanted to get their rights. For that, they made Jacobin clubs. Their activities and campaigns prepared the way for the French armies which moved into Poland, Belgium, Switzerland and much of Italy in the 1790s. With the outbreak of the Revolutionary Wars, the French armies began to carry the idea of nationalism abroad. Jacobin Club had given chance to the less prosperous people of the society. They made Jacobin clubs for them. Army also played a vital role in the emergence of nationalism inside the country. But people, Jacobin club also, it had completed a less period of time, that was Reign of Terror. And after that, their ruling was finished because of their strict rule, regulations, severe control and punishment. Because of that policy, they were not able to run their government for a long period. So it was finished. After that, Directory was introduced, that also not successful. After that, people of France, they wanted to establish a government which will have the stability, they will be able to solve their problems, that kind of government people they wanted. At that time, Napoleon came as a liberator for French people and people accepted him. As he was military general, he established monarchy. Whether he destroyed democracy, but he introduced many good things for French people, for their betterment. When he became emperor, he introduced many changes in France. Those changes are known as Napoleonic Code as it was established in 1804. It is known as Napoleonic Code 1804. It is also known as French Civil Code of 1804. Defined the concept of equality before the law and also secured the right to property. This code abolished the feudal system and freed peasants from serfdom and manorial dues, as well as improvement in the transport and communication systems. He had done many changes for the betterment of French people. He also wanted to expand the area, the empire he wanted to expand. He analyzed the problems which were faced by the French people and wanted to solve all those problems and wanted to get the support of French people. So he analyzed that people are facing problem due to feudal system, due to serfdom. So he had made changes in that. Serfdom, that was people, those were not having their own land. On rent, they were doing the farming. Manorial dues were abolished. He improved transportation and communication system inside the country for the economic development. Let us see some more changes made by him. Students, let us see the changes made by Napoleon. He established equality before law, abolished all the privileges based on birth. As first and second estates, they were getting privileges by birth. They had not to pay the taxes, they were enjoying all the facilities, all the privileges, so it was abolished. Simplified administrative divisions, granted the right to property of French citizens. Simplified administrative divisions in that he wanted to establish centralized administrative system, granted the right to property to French citizens. Right to property was given to the French citizens, abolished feudal system and freed peasants from serfdom. As feudal system was the main and root reason in among the French people, and that became one of the big reasons behind the revolution. So this was solved by the Napoleon and freed peasants from serfdom. Eliminated restrictions on guilds in town. Guild restrictions were there, so he removed the guild restrictions, that is for the free trade. Made efforts to improve transportation and communication. He wanted to improve the transportation system and communication system for the development of the country, for the economic development of the country. So these changes were made by Napoleon, that is to make the future of France bright. Students, as Napoleonic Code, we have seen that many changes were introduced by Napoleon in France when he became Emperor of France. We have also seen that due to these changes, peasants, artisans, workers, and new businessmen enjoyed a newfound freedom. Businessmen and small-scale producers of goods in particular began to realize that uniform laws, standardized weights and measures, and a common national currency would facilitate the movement and exchange of goods and capital from one region to another. Now, because of these changes, it was easier for the businessmen, traders, peasants, and artisans to do their work properly without restrictions, without the pressure. And due to the removal of the restrictions, businessmen, traders, now they were able to do free trade in any region with standardized weight system and measurement system. They were benefited and the economic development started inside the country. These changes were not only introduced in France, these changes were introduced in the territories those were under Napoleon. Those territories were won by Napoleon. He introduced these changes there also. The prime objective of this code was to simplify all the laws and systemized into a single document. This code was spread to the region under French control. The states like the Dutch Republic, in Switzerland, in Italy and Germany also adopted the Napoleon simplified administrative vision. Many territories were won by Napoleon during the Napoleonic Wars. So he wanted to simplify the administrative system there also. In starting phase, people, they welcomed these changes. Wherever the armies were going for the Napoleonic War, they won the wars also. Wherever the victorious territories were there, these kind of simplified administrative systems were imposed there also. In the starting phase, it was welcomed by the people, but later that welcome converted into hostility. Because of the burden of these changes, people, they disliked this system. Army also fed up of fighting many Napoleonic wars. They wanted to get rid of these situations, so they disliked these changes. As we have seen that in earlier stages, people, they welcomed in different territories, but the initial enthusiasm soon turned to hostility as it became clear that new administrative arrangements did not go hand in hand with political freedom. Some problems were there. We have seen the advantages of the Napoleonic Code 1804, but as every coin is having two sides, some positive aspects and some negative aspects were also there with the Napoleonic Code. Some merits were there, some demerits you can say, some advantages were there, some disadvantages. Advantages we have seen of the Napoleonic Code. Now we will see some drawbacks of the Napoleonic Code also. Students, in the Napoleonic Code, there was increased taxation, censorship, forced conscription into the French armies required to conquer the rest of Europe. All seem to overweigh the advantages of the administrative changes. Whatever the advantages we have seen, those were there in the Napoleonic Code. Along with that, some other things were changed. In that, as I told you, that increased taxation was in the administrative system, censorship, forced conscription into the French army, forcefully there was recruitment in the army for the Napoleonic Wars. Wherever the winning territories were there, they increased taxation there, censorship was imposed. Due to these, all seem to overweigh the advantages of the administrative changes, and people, they started dislike for this Napoleonic Code. A dislike emerged among the people. Now student, people, because of these problems, people, they wanted to change the system. They wanted liberalism. Socially and politically, a landed aristocracy was the dominant class on the continent. The members of this class were united by a common way of life that cut across regional divisions. Students, in French society, there were less numbers of rich people, and the percentage of poor people was more there. Those were rich people, they were having big shares of land, they were speaking French language. Their families were often connected by ties of marriage. The majority of the population was made up of peasantry. To the west, the bulk of land was farmed by tenants and small owners, while the eastern and central Europe, the pattern of landholding was characterized by vast estates which were cultivated by serfs. So, rich people were less, poor people were more in numbers. Those were not having their own lands, they were working as serfs, landless farm workers were there. In Western and parts of Central Europe, the growth of industrial production and trade meant the growth of towns and the emergence of commercial classes whose existence was based on production for the market. Because of industrial revolution, there was emergence of new class, that was commercial class. Working class emerged due to the industrial revolution. Industrialization began in England in the second half of the 18th century. But in France and parts of Germany, it occurred only during the 19th century. As working class emerged, working class and middle classes made up of industrialists, businessmen, professionals, they were educated people. Liberal middle classes, that idea of national unity, following the abolition of aristocratic privileges, gained popularity. As these people were educated, some of them were professors, lecturers, teachers, lawyers, they were educated people and they were not ready to accept the things same as. They wanted to get their rights, they wanted to get liberty as a citizen. So they demanded rights for them, they wanted liberty, they wanted freedom in that. So they demanded liberty under the liberalism. A new kind of idea emerged, that was liberalism. Ideas of national unity in early 19th century Europe were closely allied to the ideology of liberalism. The term liberalism derives from the Latin root liber, meaning free. For the new middle classes, liberalism stood for freedom for the individual and equality of all before the law. Politically, it emphasized the concept of government by consent. Since the French Revolution, liberalism had stood for the end of autocracy and the clerical privileges, a constitution and representative government through parliament. 19th century liberals also stressed the inviolability of private property. So these kind of demands were made by the middle class. They wanted liberty for them, they wanted constitution, end of autocracy, clerical privileges, but along with that they wanted freedom for the individual and equality of all. In the economic sphere, liberalism stood for the freedom of markets and the abolition of state-imposed restrictions on the government. The term liberalism derives from the Latin root liber, meaning free. For the new middle classes, liberalism stood for the freedom for the individual and equality of all before the law. Politically, it emphasized the concept of government. Since the French Revolution, liberalism had stood for the end of autocracy and the clerical privileges, a constitutional and representative government through parliament. Now, Along with these changes, along with these demands, people they added liberalism. In liberalism, they wanted freedom for the individual and equality of all before the law. As we have seen, politically, they demanded these changes like end of autocracy and clerical privileges, a constitutional and representative government through parliament. Yet, equality before the law did not necessarily stand for universal suffrage. As we have seen, the first political experiment in liberal democracy, the right to vote and to get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men. Only they got the voting right. They were known as active citizens. Men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Only a brief period under the Jacobins did all the adults enjoy suffrage. But in that also women they didn't get the voting right. Finally, they got voting right in 1946. They struggled a lot to get their voting rights because in earlier society the voting right was not provided to the females. For that they had done the struggle, they started revolution, and because of these revolutionary activities finally they got voting rights in 1946. So, however, the Napoleonic Code went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of a minor subject to the authority of fathers and husbands. Throughout the 19th and earlier 20th century, women and non-propertied men organized opposition movements demanding equal political rights. So these changes people they wanted politically, these changes people they wanted in France. Let us see some other changes. Students, as people they demanded political liberalism for them, they also wanted economic liberalism also. The economic sphere, liberalism stood for the freedom of markets and the abolition of state-imposed restrictions on the movement of goods and capital. During the 19th century, this was a strong demand of the emerging middle classes. In economic sphere, people they wanted that freely they can do the trade. There should be no any restriction on the movements of the goods and capital. Easily they can establish their business anywhere, they can do trade anywhere without restrictions. Napoleonic administrative measures had carried out countless small principalities, a confederation of 39 states. Each of these possessed its own currencies and weights and measures which involved time-consuming calculations. As different territories were under Napoleon, in those territories different currencies were running there, and due to this economic activities were affected, problems were there inside the economy. So these things were changed by Napoleon. These things were needed to be changed. So people they wanted that at the place of different currencies, uniform currency should be there. Because of these, there was problem in the economic development. There were also different weight system and measurement system which involved time-consuming calculations. It was difficult for the traders, that is to do trade with different weight system and measurement system. A merchant traveling in 1833 from Hamburg to Nuremberg to sell his goods would have to pass through 11 custom barriers and pay a custom duty of about 5% at each of them. After crossing the boundaries, the traders they had to pay the custom duties. And as many custom barriers were there, they had to pay a lot. So they were not able to make much more profit. So they wanted that these custom barriers should be removed. Duchess were often people, they wanted to get rid of these weight system and measurement system. Those were different in different territories. These were the obstacles in the economic development. Region to region, weight system, measurement system, it was different. If a person wanted to sell a piece of cloth which was having different measurement in different regions. One example is given: an L of textile material bought in Frankfurt would get you 54.7 centimeter of cloth. That was unit of measurement. In Mainz 55.1 centimeter, in Nuremberg 65.6 centimeter, in Freiburg 53.5 centimeter. You can see the variations in the measurement system. If a trader is taking this cloth from one place to another place, its measurement was changed there. If it is more, that was benefit for the merchant, but if it is less, that will be the loss for the merchant. If, for example, in India, if we'll take the example that is 1 kg of product is taken by the merchant somewhere, and there it is only 800 grams, so it is lost to the merchants. So they wanted to change the system of measurement and weight system. So the weight system and measurement system was needed to be uniform. To solve these problems, in 1834 a custom union of Zollverein was formed by initiative of Prussia and joined by most of the German states. To solve this problem, one custom union was formed that was called Zollverein, and because of the initiative of Prussia it was started. Most of the German states joined it. The union abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currencies from 30 to 2. 30 currencies were running and those were reduced to 2. The creation of network of railways further stimulated mobility, harnessing economic interest to national unification. According to Professor Friedrich List, the aim of the Zollverein was to bind the Germans economically into a nation. So as economic development was taking place, there was more production. Due to that, railways were invented and the economic development started in France due to these changes. Thank you.